This headline is too big to ignore. The most capital ever raised in Canadian history for a psychedelics company. What? Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about a company called Cybin. They are in the psychedelic space, and we know psychedelics are on the verge of being huge. So the tickers for this one on the OTC exchange is CLXPF, and on the Canadian exchange, it is CYBN. So a little bit about who Cybin is. The company is focused on psychedelic drug development, delivery mechanisms, improved novel compounds, and protocols that target psychiatric and neurological diseases. So to show you how desperately psilocybin is needed in this marketplace, look at these numbers. For anxiety, 40 million people suffer from anxiety in the US, 10 million with ADHD, 20 million addiction, 17 million depression. These are big numbers. So if Cybin can tap into this market and help these people, this can be a huge, massive company. And like I said, they've raised the most capital in Canadian history for a psychedelics company. Big news. Countless studies are already proving that this can help mental illness, such as OCD. You know, if you lock the door, you unlock the door. You lock the door, you unlock the door. You can get rid of that. If you just take a little psilocybin, boop, you're good. You'll just lock it and go. Opioid, alcoholism, depression, anxiety, eating disorders. The list goes on and on, so they're in a great place for this massive potential market. I just went to Google here and I typed in psilocybin. I went to the news tab and you could see how hot this sector is. The patent race is on. How psilocybin reduces depression, effort underway to decriminalize magic mushrooms in Spokane, local activists in Washington state push for psilocybin decriminalization. Listen, things are changing and they're going to change rapidly. So I would be paying very close attention to what this company does and other companies in this space because, like I said, it's going to boom. A single experience, a single dose of psilocybin for many people can create an immediate and sustained benefit for people suffering with depression. How insane is that? So you have two options. You could take a chemical drug made in a lab, or you could take something naturally grown, and it could cure your depression from one single dose, rather than a prescription that a doctor wants to keep giving you over and over and over and over. You could take one dose of something that's natural. So this company is in studies right now. They want to know, does it work? And is it safe? So we're going to find out. Also, the FDA is backing this research, and medical studies from Johns Hopkins Medicine and NYU have shown encouraging results. With Cybin's unique treatments, they are aiming to change the way Big Pharma treats mental health issues, most notably Major Depressive Disorder. That's MDD. In fact, the company's planned timelines are on track to treat MDD with an FDA-approved psilocybin drug. MDD is one of the most common health disorders in the US, affecting 17 million adults. Did I just read that correctly? An FDA-approved psilocybin drug. I'm glad that I'm talking about this company right now because this is a big statement right here. A big statement. Now, this is a very good statement about the capital that the CEO made when they raised their money in early stages. So Cybin did raise $55 million before it went public, and then it raised that additional $45 million in its most recent funding round. Funding will not be a challenge for the next several years, added Drysdale, as quoted by Forbes. We are fully funded at this point for our phase 2 program and also to support and accelerate novel molecules as well. So this is from the CEO. He's saying they're fully funded. They're good to go for their studies. Now, another thing that's very interesting about Cybin is how they are delivering this medicine to you. They're not doing it through eating a mushroom or taking a capsule. They're doing it through a film strip. Cybin has yet another scientific breakthrough that is developing its sublingual film delivery system. This sublingual film is expected to have faster onset compared to oral capsules. While typical oral capsules can take up to an hour before working, their sublingual film is being designed to work much faster. So you're feeling a little down, you put it on your tongue, within minutes you're feeling up. You're feeling good. Now, what makes Cybin stand out from the rest is they are actually in studies right now. Look at this. So for psychiatric disorders, they are in preclinical, and for the psilocybin MDD, Major Depressive Disorder, they are in phase 2 of their studies. So stage 1 will begin in the Caribbean, which has a population of 43 million. Stage 2 will take place in jurisdictions where psilocybin is legal. And stage 3 will take place in the US and Canada. Now, this is very interesting. This news broke in January. Cybin partners with Kernel to leverage its breakthrough neuroimaging technology for psychedelic therapeutics. So that's what Kernel does. They do neuroimaging technology, and they're using that with Cybin's medicine. Now look at this. Using Kernel's technology, Cybin will be able to quantify brain activity in real time during psychedelic experiences. The absence of this data has been a limitation in the progression of new molecules targeting neurological disorders. So with this technology, they now can see if psilocybin is or isn't working and how it's working and how it's affecting the brain. So they will be able to see brain activity before and after the psychedelic experience. So there's a cool little video about their partnership.
For decades, the healing power of psychedelics in treating mental illness has been ignored, depriving over 700 million people worldwide of potential life-changing therapeutics. We are now at the dawn of a new scientific era. Molecules like psilocybin, LSD, and DMT that have shown promise in treating psychiatric disorders are being revisited and researched. And this resurgence is leading to a paradigm shift in public policy. Cybin is at the forefront of this revolution, navigating the brain's intricate network into the next frontier, developing a new class of psychedelic medicine and treatment regimens. With breakthrough science, powered by cutting-edge neurotechnology, we're quantifying what was previously impossible. A critical loop between biofeedback and integration, unlocking one of humanity's greatest mysteries. We're making new connections, opening pathways and possibilities for healing, and a complete transformation in mental health care.
Those animations were incredible. Jeez, did these guys work on the Avengers? Now, you know me, I always like to look at the team because the team is who's running the business. So take a look at this because this is actually pretty impressive as to the amount of experience they're bringing to the table. The CEO, over 30 years in the healthcare sector, has raised over $4 billion in capital, facilitated over $5 billion in M&A activity. Medical team has vast pharmaceutical experience with previous high-level positions at Eli Lilly, BioVal, Teva, and Actavis. So the team experience and CEO experience is clearly there. Cybin's goal is to become the very first life sciences company that brings a psilocybin drug to market treating major depressive disorder, one of the most common mental health disorders in the US affecting 17 million adults. This is their number one goal. This is what they're trying to tackle, and this is going to be breakthrough if they could do it. Okay, now looking at the chart for Cybin, we could see that when this thing went public, they really rocketed massively, 262%. These biotech companies go through the roof when they start the run. Then we had a nice pull down and then an instant pop back up, a nice pop up, and then it faded out. Now, the question is, has it bottomed? Because we got a nice little pop down here, nice little pop here to indicate maybe a trend reversal, but possibly not yet. But I like to find where a support area is, and that's an area that I will be watching closely. Now, I always give two scenarios when I'm doing a deep dive on the chart of the stock because I don't want to be biased. I'm going to show a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. So we have our support and our resistance. We have our support at 129, and we have our resistance at 145. Now, if Cybin can get back over 145, it's back in a bullish uptrend. It would have to create some support and then start to head up. So our first scenario, if we could get over 145, we'll probably punch through to like 160, depending on the reason why it's punching through. If it's just because the markets are green, possibly 160, pull down, and then head back up because they're in phase 2 study right now. So that data could come out very soon and drastically move this thing if the results are positive. Bearish scenario, if it can't break through 145, maybe if the markets are red as well, it could bounce down and it's going to test that bottom support of 129, and that is the danger zone. You don't want to fall below 129. That's where you cut your losses because it could go deeper and you could possibly get cheaper prices down here in the lower dollar range. But most likely it will probably bounce off of that because that was previous support over here. It wouldn't fall below, it spiked through and then shot right back up. But more likely it's going to bounce off 130 and test that 145 again. So that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Again, that is Cybin, ticker on the OTC CLXPF, and on the Canadian CYBN. So this was a sponsored video. Disclaimers on the screen. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I just like talking about these companies, doing a deep dive, unraveling all the information about the company, what they're currently doing, and what's coming ahead. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. And don't forget, by hitting that button, it's doing magical things. It's also getting you a little bit closer to retiring young.